If your aquarium's been neglected for months, what do you do to get it back on track? If you live in a tropical climate, do you really need a heater? And is it okay to mix imbunas, peacocks, and haps in a 55-gallon tank? Gonna answer all three of those questions and pick a couple of good comments of the week in this episode of Tank Talk. Guys to be good because I have to answer these questions, okay? Okay, you gonna be good? Gonna be good? Hey folks, it's John with KG Tropical. Super excited to be bringing you another Tank Talk video. This is a video where I'm gonna be answering your questions that were submitted in the comment section of this video or any of the Tank Talk videos. So if you want to see your question answered in a future episode of Tank Talk, put them down in the comments below, and there you go. You never know. It might get selected, and if you put something in there that's a little quirky or a little strange, you might get picked for Comment of the Week. But anyway, let's stop rambling. Let's get on to the first question. First question this week comes from Hank Schmidt. He says, "Hi, I had a question. My mom got really sick and has been in and out of the hospital for the last few months, about 4. I have totally neglected my tank and only topped it off. No water changes or filter maintenance. My question is, should I do a few smaller water changes on my 55, or should I drain 80 to 90% of the water and do a massive water change? I did lose a few fish in those months, but got them out. The fish are African cichlids. I feel bad about the tank and fish, but my mom was more important. Thank you for answering my question. Thank you for the other videos as well, Hank." All right, so first thing that has to be said here is, Hank, I hope your mom is doing better, and good on you for putting mom as priority. That's absolutely the way it should be. Yes, this channel is all about helping you to take care of your aquariums and take care of your pets, but some things have to take priority, and you know what? You put your attention towards mom, and I applaud you for that. And you at least put a little bit of attention onto your tank because you know what's going on. You lost a few fish. You kept topping off the water. You did the best you could. I get it. I totally understand. Even when people don't have moms in the hospital, we've got busy lives. We all do. We've all got Netflix to watch, right? So it's understandable that you would neglect your tank a little bit. Not understandable if you were just watching Netflix, but you, Hank, have a very good excuse. So let's get into this as far as, should you do a small water change or several small water changes building up to getting your tank back on track? Sure, you could, or you could just do a massive water change. There's a lot of people that are new to fish keeping, and I don't know how long you've been in this, but a lot of new fish keepers believe that large water changes can somehow be bad for fish. And I suppose that could be true if you're in a situation where the water that you're putting into the tank maybe has a lot of ammonia in it or something like that. If it is, then I would question the source where you're getting your water from. But I suppose it's possible that doing a huge water change with the wrong water could be a problem. But let's face it, most of us are on well water or on city water, which shouldn't really be bad water to be putting into your aquarium. So doing a huge water change is not going to be a problem. In fact, I know a lot of people that do 100% water changes. There's companies that I've dealt with before that do 100% water change in their tanks, and they do them multiple times per week. These would be fish breeders. That's a bit extreme, but what I'm saying is it can be done. I've actually talked to a discus breeder that did this, where every single day they would drain the tank out 100% and then refill it back up again. There's actually a video on YouTube of a discus farm that does this, and they don't even take the fish out of the aquarium. It's crazy, and it's actually a disturbing video to watch, but they drain the tank down completely. The fish are still in there, and they all lay on their sides, and they're all flopping around, and then they fill it right back up again. The whole process only takes a couple of minutes, but it's kind of crazy to watch that kind of thing happen. And this is with discus, the fish that people say are so fragile. That's what they're doing there. Now, of course, I would not encourage anybody to do that in their tank or I mean, I guess I shouldn't say anybody. I guess those people are doing fine with it. But that is a bit extreme, and I'm getting way off track here. That's kind of what these Tank Talk episodes are for, but I don't want to go too crazy with it. Bottom line is a large water change will not hurt your fish. It certainly shouldn't anyway, unless you have bad water. If I was in your situation, Hank, first of all, I would have done the exact same thing. I would have put mom priority over all of these things. I mean, that's what we got to do. But then when that problem has figured itself out and it's time to get back on track, what would I do? I would do a massive water change, probably 80%. Why not? You know, I mean, I'm using a Python, so I can put water into the tank that's of temperature, at the right temperature. I shouldn't have said of, I should have said at temperature. But probably an 80% water change, vacuuming out the gravel, very, very good. And then I would also do a filter maintenance on there. I'm running on this tank here, an FX6. I would take that filter apart. I would squeeze out the sponges in conditioned aquarium water. I've always got to be sure to say that. And I would probably replace some of my chemical media that I have in there. I've got Purigen in there. I would rinse out my biomedia and probably replace the polishing pads and stuff like that that are in that filter. That's what I would do. I would do an overhaul of the filter, and I would do a massive water change. And you know what? I wouldn't even be thinking for a second that that's going to hurt their fish. I'm on city water here, and it's a pretty good source. So there you go. That's what I would do. Depending on your situation, if your water is bad, and when I say your water is bad, sometimes people have water that has a trace amount of ammonia in it. And so they're afraid to do huge water changes because they'd be putting all of this ammonia into their tank. They would rather do smaller so the bacteria can keep up with it and all that. I understand that, but if your water source is good and you don't have any of those problems with it, yeah, do a huge, huge water change, maintain that filter, you should be good to go. And this video is already like 12 minutes long. Wow, feeling a bit long-winded today, I guess. Next question comes in from Jimbo Basso. What a cool name that is. Hi, I am new to this hobby. I am from a tropical country. Is it okay if I don't use aquarium heater for my aquarium? I have 3 30-gallon and planning to upgrade to a 75-gallon. It is okay if I don't use water heater. All fish are tropical fish. Climate here are rainy season and summer. First of all, I am very jealous of that climate. I'm not a big fan of the rain, but I sure hate the winter. And right now I'm looking outside my window and it's very gloomy and gray, and I just hate wintertime. I wish it was always summer where I'm at. But anyway, there's a few questions that I would have to ask you before I could confidently give you an answer. The thing is, if you live in a tropical climate and your home is like a tropical climate, then you'd be fine. I mean, I don't see why you wouldn't be, even though your aquariums are most likely going to be in the shade, so there would be a slight temperature difference. I don't think it would be so much that it would be a problem, but you know, it's 2019, and most likely you're living in a house that has air conditioning. Maybe not. Maybe you're in one of those climates that's just beautiful year-round and you don't have to fool with air conditioning. Wouldn't that be nice? But if that's the case and your house interior, the inside of your house is 78, 80 degrees, I wouldn't use a heater. Why would you need to? I mean, the temperature in your house is the same as it would be, as what you would be putting your aquarium heater set to. So I wouldn't be using one, but you're probably using air conditioning. Your house is probably cooler, significantly cooler than it is outside. And if that's the case, if your aquarium is inside in the air conditioning, it doesn't make a difference what the climate is outside. It's still going to be cool in there. If you're running your air conditioning at 71, 72 degrees, then your tanks are going to go to 71 or 72 degrees. So it's not going to be, the climate outside is not going to make a difference. But again, if you're someone that doesn't use air conditioning and it's hot in your house, I go into so many houses every day for my real job, and I go to a lot of houses that even in the dead of summer, they do not use air conditioning. I mean, if that's the case, you probably don't need it. But again, you know, you never really know what's going to happen. And even if you're not using air conditioning, you say rainy season and summer. Rainy season usually means the temperature is going to drop. Is the temperature going to drop so much that it's going to impact your aquarium? Who knows? I mean, that's hard to say, because you said you live in a tropical country. I don't know what country that is. And even if I did know, I probably wouldn't know what the average temperature is there. But anyway, I hope I'm making sense here. If you are in a climate controlled building of some kind, it doesn't matter what the climate is like outside. But if the climate inside your home is the same as outside and you're living in a tropical climate, I don't see why you would need heaters. So I don't know. Hope that makes sense. All right, now for my favorite and hopefully your favorite segment of each one of these Tank Talk videos, comment of the week. I've got a dog on my feet. I've got 2 dogs right here. This is kind of squeezed in here, but it's the only way I can do it without them barking while I'm trying to film. But anyway, this is my favorite time of each one of these videos because we get to have some fun. In the last few episodes of Tank Talk, they've been comments that are a bit on the negative or nasty side. Today I decided to change things up. Let's have some fun. Let's get some positivity going here. And I've chosen 2. Actually 3, but 2 are anyway, you'll understand what I mean. The first one is from Davin Sanchez. I hope I'm saying that right. I put a rum bottle in a beta and I don't know how to get it out without hurting the rocks. Any ideas, John? Now, if you watched, I don't remember what episode it was. It might have even been the first episode that I brought this series back. I had somebody for my comment of the week that had put in that they put a beta in a rum bottle and they were afraid of doing maintenance because they were afraid as they're pouring that bottle out that the gravel would come out and hurt the fish. And so Davin decided to have some fun with that and change it up and put the rum bottle inside of the beta, and he's worried about getting it out without hurting the rocks, because you never want to hurt the rocks. I thought that was a lot of fun. And then let's get on to number 2. There's a very particular reason why I'm doing this. And that is Jace the Fish Guy puts this type of comment on almost every video that Lisa and I upload. And it just makes me feel good. And I know why he's doing it. He's doing it for one of 2 reasons. Either he's being completely sincere and he just wants to make sure that we know that we are an inspiration to him, or he's trying to draw attention to himself. Either one is fine with me. I'm not going to be mad at him for either one of those scenarios. It is very nice of you, Jace the Fish Guy. You've always got something very complimentary to say, and it definitely makes me feel good. So there you go. If you're doing this, if you've put all of these comments up on all of my videos, I can almost guarantee there's one on every video since I've been back from my break, basically. If you're doing that just to get attention, you got it. And if you're doing it because you're completely sincere, well, then I appreciate that very much. Either way, I appreciate the engagement with the video. I think it's very nice. And good luck with your channel. You make sure you mention in every single one of those that you too have a channel. Good luck with that, and I hope it goes well for you. So there you go, a little change of pace for the comment of the week segment. But you know what? We can't be mean every single week. We got to have some fun every once in a while. All right, last question today. Maybe this one isn't going to be as long as I thought it was going to be. I ran my mouth a lot there in the beginning, but this question comes in from Mass Luca 007. Hey John, I just found your channel recently and you have helped me so much with keeping African cichlids. So my question, I have a 55-gallon African tank that is mostly imbunas, maybe 10. But I also have 4 different haps and peacocks. None of them get bigger than 6 inches, but I was just wondering, would mixing a few haps and peacocks be viable in the long run with a 55? I left the top half of the tank almost completely open for them to swim, but there is lots of caves at the bottom for the imbuna. At the moment, all of my fish are 3 inches or smaller, but there is a 6-inch OB in there, as well as a 4-inch electric blue hap. Hope you answer my question. I'm pretty new to the hobby, only a year, and I'm only just 18. Cheers. Well, the first thing I have to say here is good for you, Mass Luca 007. It's awesome to see young people coming into this hobby, especially young people like him, I'm assuming Luca. Young people like Luca that come into this hobby and they want to do it right. And with technology being the way it is, and with you watching me on here right now, with so much information being out there right at our fingertips, it's easy to do this hobby and to do it right. But it's also easy to be lazy these days, right? We want to set something up and we just want it to be right and never have to mess with it again. So it's good to see, this is what I deal with, a young person getting into the hobby and wanting to do it right. So A+ for you, my friend. And here, yeah, we've got people pulling up. So this is going to get crazy for a minute. Let me go ahead and pause so that we can let this all happen. All right, well, that was fun. Anyway, so let's talk about this here. Just wondering, would mixing a few haps and peacocks be viable in the long run with a 55? I probably wouldn't. You've got a few peacocks and an electric blue hap in there, a 6-inch OB, isn't that what you said? A 6-inch OB, yeah. And then the rest in Bunas. I think I would probably want to go ahead and leave it there with a 55 gallon. 55 gallon for peacocks and I mean, you're borderline. You're borderline getting ridiculed on YouTube for having that type of fish in a 55 gallon. That's a 75. It's only 20 gallons more. Nobody gets on me for that. I mean, I don't know that it's a bad thing to keep peacocks and haps in a 55, but it's bad if you've got 36 of them in there. You understand what I'm saying? So you've got 10 fish, and 10 fish in a 55, it's probably more than enough activity, more than enough movement. It's probably a nice looking tank. You've got your imbunas hiding in the caves. You've got your free swimmers with your peacocks and haps. Why not leave it alone? Yep, now more people are coming in. This is the life I live. This is my life. So let's keep it where it's at. You should be okay, but how about, let's talk to mom and dad. Maybe they can get you a birthday present of a 125 gallon or a 90 gallon or something like that. Who knows? But bigger is always better. That's the way it works in this hobby. And that's that. I don't know. This has gotten so far turned upside down. But anyway, to sum it up, if you've got 14 fish in that tank, you're pretty much at your limit. Let's not add any more. And let's talk about maybe upgrading down the road. I would love to see that. I think that would make a lot of sense. So there you go. Got a little chaotic. I don't know how this video is going to turn out in the end, but another episode down. This series has been so much fun to do. I wanted to do a whole bunch of these today, but I don't think I'm going to get to that. But anyway, this episode has been a lot of fun. I hope you've enjoyed it too. If you want to see your questions get answered in this type of format, put them down in the comment section below. If you have something funny to say, if you think you're a comedian, whatever it is, go ahead and put it down there. We'll have some fun with that. Or ask your serious fish keeping questions. There is nothing that's off limits. So put them down there and you never know. I can't answer every single one of them. It's not like I'm going to be doing these videos every day, but I will pick the ones that I think are the best ones that need my attention the fastest. I will take those and we will put those in the future videos. So you got a question, put it down there. That's it. Thank you all so much for watching. This has been a good time, even though this one got completely turned upside down.